Rockstar versus Bethesda. Two philosophies of open world immersion. Two worlds, one family. I don't know. I'm sorry, Tarzan's leaping into my brain here. One believes immersion comes from witnessing a perfectly crafted world. The other believes it comes from shaping your own story. And today, or tonight, we're going to take a look at why both of them are right. And it's the clearest example in gaming of how you can make two completely different kinds of immersion, both of them masterful, both of them obsessive, but in totally opposite directions. And since I've been on my angst arc, I figured it would kind of be nice to, just do something fun like this. So let's get into it. So let's look at where the good philosophy starts, with intention. Dan Houser, who co-founded Rockstar and shaped the story of nearly every major game they've made, said this: "The best thing that I worked on was Red Dead Redemption 2. It's the best single realization of open world storytelling, thematic consistency, and understanding how games are assembled to take you on an emotional journey." And I gotta say, I agree with him. I love Red Dead Redemption 2. Notice what he's talking about: an emotional journey, a directed experience. You're not the author of that journey. You're the passenger, or really kind of the director. You get to direct the scenes and how they play out, to some extent. Todd Howard at Bethesda says something radically different. His core philosophy is live another life in another world. Reach out, touch everything, 16 times the detail. You know that whole thing. The game is not Bethesda's story, it's your story. Be who you want to be and go do what you want. That's it. Rockstar wants you to experience their story in an open world. Bethesda wants you to write your own story inside their systems. That one sentence difference explains everything that follows. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you play as Arthur Morgan. Arthur is a man with beliefs, with a history, with weight. He's dying of tuberculosis. You don't get to really decide if he's a good person or not. Sure, you get the two endings or whatever, but come on. The story forces him to confront what he's become. You experience his journey, and it's a great journey. In Skyrim, you create a character, any race, any skills, any moral compass. Then the game never tells you who you are. You fill in that blank. You could be a noble knight, an assassin, a scholar, all three at different times. The world reacts to what you do. Oh, sort of. And Bethesda doesn't decide who you are. Rockstar's characters have fixed identities with emotional depth. Bethesda's characters are blank canvases. One trades freedom for narrative weight. The other trades narrative weight for freedom. And I think it would be really cool if somehow both could be combined. Maybe one day. I don't know how you would do it. And personally, at this point, I prefer Rockstar's approach. But maybe that's just because I'm tired of playing Skyrim, which both companies have that in common. I mean, it's taken for freaking ever for the next game to come out. I mean, think about it. We're complaining about Grand Theft Auto 6 taking forever to come out. Grand Theft Auto 5 came out in 2013. Skyrim came out in 2011. And we're going to get the next Elder Scrolls way after the next Grand Theft Auto. Just saying, it's a much longer wait. But let's talk about some technical differences here that serve what each of them are trying to accomplish. Rockstar uses something called the Euphoria physics engine, and I absolutely love it. It's not just ragdoll physics, it's procedural animation generation, and it's freaking amazing. The engine can take into account fear, pain, balance, all that kind of stuff in real time. So when an NPC gets hit, it doesn't play a canned animation. The Euphoria's engine generates the reaction using physics simulation, so NPCs don't fall in the same way twice. They grab walls when they're thrown down, they stumble realistically, they react with physical intelligence. And good God, I would love to see this in an Elder Scrolls game. On top of that layer, Rockstar programmed emotional memory systems. NPCs remember you. They have personality traits. They have moods. If you beat someone up, they'll recognize you later and flinch. If you help them, they remember. More or less. I mean, in some scripted cases. A Rockstar developer explained it this way: you can switch between hand-scripted and generic behaviors very easily, and even the hand-scripted stuff looks organic because of the tools. That's the secret. The tools make handcrafted moments look emergent. Bethesda went a completely different direction with something called Radiant AI. I know you guys love Radiant AI. Bruce Neesmith, lead designer on Skyrim, explained how this originated. Todd Howard sketched a napkin drawing, a player at the center with lines connecting to NPCs, monsters, the world. His vision was simple but radical: make the world not just react to the player, but also interact with itself. Radiant AI works like this.
All right, so this is her new upstairs. This is her puppy named Dog. She talks to him, she says, no, she's got to practice. She's got things to do, she's got to practice. He has to be good dog. So she's going to go pick up that bow that's over on the table there. And she's going to take a few shots. Right now, her marksman skill is very low. So she goes and she gets a marksmanship potion.
Are they actually drinking potions? How'd you do that?
She drinks the potion.
Pause a second. So this is new to me, so I'm making lists.
Mm-hmm. I've got that on the list, as we need the potion art and drinking potion.
Yeah. That.
Yeah, it's on there.
Okay.
All right, so she drinks that, which increases her marksmanship skill. Now she attacks.
Dude, that is brilliant.
So she goes and picks up this book over here and starts reading. Dog starts eating. His animations are going to be tweaked, and now he's got all sorts of energy. He's running around. He's running around like an idiot, and she's starting to get annoyed because she's trying to read. She's like, no, mommy's reading. And he goes, huh? Bam! Paralyzed. Falls over.
But it goes further. Bethesda built the Radiant Story Manager. It watches what you do. It monitors your kills, your theft, your location changes. Then it dynamically generates quests based on your actions. So the world generates stories for you in real time. And ultimately, it does turn into a bunch of fetch quests, but it is really cool, the idea. Neesmith said, the world sees the player. Think of how many games you play where the world doesn't see the player. You solve this problem here, and the rest of the world doesn't know. Here, it does know. It generates new stories. Rockstar's NPCs react to your presence. Bethesda's NPCs, at least on paper, react to your actions. That's the technical difference. But it does create a fundamentally different experience. The world building reflects this too. Red Dead Redemption 2 features over 200 animal species, not just different models. Real species with ecology. Predators hunt herbivores. Scavengers detect carrion. Wolves hunt in packs. Possums play dead when threatened. Grizzly bears bluff charge. Deer alert each other to hidden cougars. The game has an actual ecosystem that functions whether you're watching or not. Scientists have actually studied Red Dead's wildlife accuracy. They found it teaches real animal behavior. One player even said that the game taught him to spot a charging ram, which is just crazy. He said it literally saved him from breaking his leg in real life. That's how accurate the ecology is. Everything in Red Dead Redemption 2 is hand-placed and considered. The team consulted ecologists. They researched habitats, even the way snow falls differently at different altitudes. The obsession with detail is deliberate. Rockstar believes immersion comes from noticing the world operates with rules independent of your presence. Bethesda's worlds are smaller, tighter, but filled with systemic possibility. Their maps are like Lego sets, modular pieces connecting in thousands of combinations. Quests assemble from interchangeable components. Factions have overlapping relationships. NPCs can follow one of hundreds of routines. When you explore, you might encounter situations the developers never specifically scripted because the systems are flexible enough to generate new combinations. One player said, the world is larger than the player. The fact that they can explore areas is what makes these games intoxicating. Rockstar creates ecology, Bethesda creates possibility. So what does this actually feel like to experience? When you play Red Dead, critics and players consistently say the same thing. You feel transported. There's a world that exists beyond you. NPCs roll out of saloons, stumbling drunk, heading to work. They have jobs. They work construction, farm labor, stable hands. They take lunch breaks. Buildings are built up around you. These NPCs, they come home, sit down, eat. They're not here for you. They're there because that's what life looks like in that part of the world in this game. And I'm sure you've seen the videos where people track NPCs for an entire in-game day and see what they do. The routines were detailed enough that you could predict where someone would be at a specific time. When you play Skyrim, players talk about ownership. They talk about a character they created that felt real to them. They talk about making choices that felt consequential because they generated unique stories. And you know, if you were to play Oblivion, there was something like how Red Dead Redemption 2 has it in that game too, where NPCs have schedules and all that kind of stuff, and they did dumb it down in Skyrim. It would be cool to see a return of that with The Elder Scrolls 6 whenever that comes out. One player said, the roleplay aspect is phenomenal. The changes I experience lead to engaging scenarios. They own the game in a way Red Dead players don't because they wrote the story. Rockstar targets emotional investments in a predetermined narrative. Bethesda targets empowerment through self-authored narrative. Both are valid because they satisfy different human needs. So let's look at a concrete example of what I'm talking about here. In Red Dead Redemption 2, it's your camp. You can have, your buddies at the camp, an NPC sits by the fire in weather-appropriate clothing, and maybe one of them comes up and asks you to, hey, I need this harmonica, or I need this thing, or hey, Arthur, what do you think of this? When depending on what you say, it will affect how they interact with you later. And if you go out in the world and maybe suck snake venom out of a guy's leg, he'll buy you a weapon or something later on in the game. Stuff like that. Oh snap, Willow's here. Okay, let's hurry this along. In Skyrim, or really more like Oblivion, you could find an NPC dead or something in the universe, and that person will actually be missing from the world because they had schedules, all sorts of stuff like that. They were connected to the world, now they are no longer there. Will someone take their job? Who knows? Maybe in Skyrim, maybe not so much in Oblivion, but it depends. And because of this, you have kind of a handcrafted story that you participated in games like Oblivion and Skyrim, and Rockstar, you get to witness a handcrafted story. Rockstar operates under obsessive perfectionism. Everything is hand-placed. The studio uses what's called a death march approach, intensive iteration on every detail. Red Dead Redemption 2 took 8 years. Grand Theft Auto 5 took 5. One developer said, we have an understanding that we're trying to make a work of art more than just churning out a product. That obsession shows. You notice details in Rockstar games because someone forced people to notice them. Bethesda operates a little differently. They emphasize distributed creative authority. Quest designers also create story content. The philosophy is build the systems, then let designers and writers build content within those systems. This generates richer, weirder, more varied content than top-down direction. Even though in Red Dead Redemption 2, there are a bunch of immersive, emergent quests and stuff like that, not really quests, but stranger activities and stuff like that that can pop up. So there is some overlap there with that game philosophy. They also do something Rockstar doesn't though, Bethesda. They released the Creation Kit, giving modders the same tools developers used. This turns the community into co-creators. Skyrim, released in 2011, still has thousands of active modders creating new content 14 years later. Rockstar locks down their worlds. Bethesda opens them up. These production philosophies inevitably shape what the game feels like when you play it. The trade-off is when you get a Rockstar game, it's going to feel massive, amazing, and complete. And when you get a Bethesda game, maybe they're a little too overly reliant on the fact that modders will fix their game. That's a whole nother discussion though. Now, here's the fascinating part. What happens when each studio tried the other's approach? Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to push Rockstar's philosophy further. The latest information shows enhanced euphoria physics with NPCs that calculate fear, pain, and balance in real time during combat, improved daily routines with specific job behaviors. The goal? Make the world even more authentically alive and reactive. Bethesda tried scaling their system. Fuck. Dude. I am so sorry. Just one more minute. I am almost done, I promise. Bethesda tried scaling their systems approach to entire procedurally generated planets in Starfield, and it broke something. Bruce Nesmith, the lead systems designer, recently admitted this. He said, "I don't think it's in the same caliber as Fallout or Skyrim. I lean towards procedural generation as the reason why. The problem? Space is, well, inherently empty." Nesmith said, "Space is literally described as nothingness. So moving throughout that isn't where the excitement is. You can generate planets procedurally, but you can't generate the environmental storytelling that makes worlds feel lived in. You can't generate the handcrafted details that whisper history." Starfield showed that Bethesda's strength isn't unlimited scale. It's creating systems dense enough that the player agency generates infinite variation within a contained, carefully designed map. So here's the truth. Neither studio is trying to do what the other does. Well, sort of. There is some overlap, but they're not really trying to copy each other. They both are very confident in what they do and are going to do their own thing. They're not really competing. Rockstar creates worlds you inhabit. They put you in the shoes of a character and orchestrate an experience around you. The character has depth, the world has rules, and the immersion comes from noticing how perfectly everything fits together. Bethesda creates worlds you shape. They give you systems flexible enough that your choices generate unique stories with emergent storytelling. That world doesn't have predetermined depth, it has emergent possibility. The immersion comes from feeling like you're writing something real. You're writing the game when you play a Bethesda title in your head. You know, it takes some creativity to truly enjoy a Bethesda game fully. One analysis perfectly captured the spirit of this, saying, depending on your needs from a world, those things might be the most detailed and interesting thing you've ever seen, or mind-numbingly shallow. But that says nothing about one approach being objectively better. And you know what? Frankly, we're lucky to have both. In a world where game development is consolidating, where most publishers chase the same formula, Rockstar and Bethesda are still willing to take fundamentally different philosophical approaches to game design. Rockstar says, we're going to spend 8 years making the most detailed, most carefully constructed world possible with horse testicles. Bethesda says, we're going to build systems flexible enough that you play this game 100 different ways, and frankly, for 100 years. Well, that's both of them now. But neither is the future. Both are. That or a relic of the past. We'll see. We gotta wait on Grand Theft Auto 6, and we have to wait on The Elder Scrolls 6. And we're a year out from Grand Theft Auto 6, hopefully they don't delay it again, and years out for the next Elder Scrolls. Anyways, I thought it would be interesting to compare both studios, but what do you think? Which approach do you prefer? Do you wish that they could somehow combine and be one thing? What do you think about this? Let me know down in the comments. Let's get a conversation going. My name's Dandy Andy. I make all sorts of content. Lately, it's been about Grand Theft Auto 6. Really, I'm just a Grand Theft Auto 6 channel now, like, if I'm gonna be real. I am trying to pivot away from that. If there is something else that you would like to see covered, please leave it down in the comments below. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you found this video to be fun, engaging, whatever, yada yada. Have a great rest of your day, week. Have a great rest of your day, week, night, year, whatever. Just stay safe out there. Much love and peace. All right.
Hello.
Oh, hey, I am so sorry about that. I was finishing up that video and okay. Do you want to go see a movie or something? Yeah, I don't, hello.